Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Giants Wr Malik Neighbors responds to Cowboys trash talk. The New York Giants go up against NFC East rivals the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday, September 26, for a much-anticipated Thursday night football matchup. The Giants picked up their first win on Sunday, September 22, over the Browns, and during the game, rookie wideout Malik Neighbors had impressive numbers, with 8 receptions on 12 targets for 78 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, Neighbors is heading into the Cowboys game in good spirits. But, many likely remember when Neighbors and Cowboys cornerback Trayvon Diggs had a beef last June, feuding over social media. Ahead of the Cowboys game, Neighbors was asked about the beef, and the wideout had a classy response. Malik Neighbors and Cowboys CB Trayvon Diggs had some back and forth on social media over the summer. The two will face off on Thursday. Neighbors says he doesn't want to discuss Diggs, it's game time now. When asked about the beef, per ESPN's Jordan Raanan, Neighbors played down the feud, stating, "It is what it is. I don't really want to talk about it now. It's game time." Giants Video's X account also shared a video of Neighbors responding. Neighbors' comments echoed what he said in an interview with the New York Post on September 7. When asked if he responds to trash talk, Neighbors said, "In the game, I really don't trash talk. It's a lot going through my mind, but if somebody tells me something, I got to respond and I'm going to respond, but most of the time I really don't be talking." As for the original tiff, back in June, Neighbors said he's most looking forward to playing Diggs out of any other DB in the NFL. Diggs responded with a post on X that said, "Giants been getting belt for some years now," as well as a repost of the video hyping up the matchup. New York selected Neighbors as the 6th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft. He's clocked 23 passes for 271 yards and 3 touchdowns in the Giants' first 3 games of the season. Speaking elsewhere in the New York Post interview, Neighbors had some kind words to say about Giants franchise quarterback Daniel Jones. "He's smart," he said. "He's really like a, how should I put this? He's a good quarterback to get on page with, because he's always trying to better himself. He's a hard worker, I can say that for sure. His work ethic is tremendous." He was also asked the oh-so-important question of whether or not Jones should have a beard. "He got to keep it," Neighbors responded. When asked why, Neighbors said, "I don't like when he cuts the beard off. He got to keep the beard. Make him look tougher, laugh." When asked what drives him, Neighbors said, "My mom. Her kids drive her." He added, "She woke up early mornings to go to work, late nights, all day, just so we have food on the table, clothes on our back. Never had no questions about it, never took a break from it, she continued to grind. I'm doing the same right now so she don't have to do it, so I'm going to go out here every day I play the game, remember that, all the fight that she did, I'm going to put it on my back." Even Skip Bayless thinks the New York Giants can take the Cowboys in Week 4. The New York Giants are riding high after escaping Cleveland with a massive road win over the Browns. Brian Daboll's squad overcame an ugly 0-2 start and gave the Big Blue fanbase some hope moving forward. However, none of that will matter this Thursday as the G-men gear up for a primetime showdown against the division rival Dallas Cowboys. Both teams enter the contest with 1 win apiece at the bottom of the NFC East. Coming off a pair of ugly losses, staunch Dallas supporter and television personality Skip Bayless has doubts that the Cowboys can go into East Rutherford and pull out a victory. Can you blame him? An animated Skip posted himself on X, questioning whether the struggling Cowboys can beat New York. He might root for Dallas, but no one is more critical of quarterback Dak Prescott and head coach Mike McCarthy than him. He suggests they are turning into the worst team in the league, which even Giants fans can agree is not the case. Don't look now, but the Cowboys are playing some pretty rough football. The Saints torched their Swiss cheese defense in Week 2 for 44 points, and they were being blown out by the Ravens on Sunday until a late-game comeback attempt bridged the deficit. Skip rightfully has major concerns about America's team. If Daboll's group is going to pull off the upset, quarterback Daniel Jones must continue to play at a high level. He turned in a solid performance against Cleveland thanks to some incredible catches by young sensation Malik Nabers. NY's chances of winning would substantially diminish if Danny Dimes plays like he did in Week 1 when he threw 2 interceptions and an ugly pick-six versus Minnesota. The Giants are 1-13 versus Dallas over the past 7 seasons, so many people are skeptical to believe this week will be any different. Regardless, the NFL has brought forth many surprises through the first few slate of games. New York has a ton of momentum heading into Thursday Night Football and could shock the world on the MetLife Stadium turf. Bayless is nervous, and he should be. Cowboys urged to pursue former arch-rival, $48 million running back. The NFL doesn't place much of a premium on running backs these days, but when you're struggling to run the football at all, like the Dallas Cowboys have through 3 games this season, the math on the position changes. Dallas is 30th in the league in rushing with 221 yards as a team, which doesn't sound as bad when contextualized by the fact that the offense has called fewer runs, 62, than all but 2 teams in the NFL. However, the Cowboys are averaging just 3.6 yards per rush attempt, which is tied for 29th in the league. And the only reason they aren't running more is because firstly, they're bad at it, and secondly, they've been so far behind the New Orleans Saints and Baltimore Ravens the last 2 weeks that deficits have forced the offense into pass-heavy schemes. Dallas has to get better at running the football and keeping opposing offenses off of the field, and one way to do that is to pursue a talented running back. And while he couldn't possibly help them until next year, the NFL scouting department at Bleacher Report on Monday, September 23, looked to the Cowboys' future and suggested they go after Texas native and current Minnesota Vikings starter Aaron Jones in free agency 2025. Ezekiel Elliott's and Rico Dowdle's contracts are set to expire at the end of the season, leaving Dallas with a need for running backs. Even if one of them gets retained, the offense could still use a dynamic option out of the backfield, BR wrote. Jones could be that option, seeing as he has roughly 280 catches for about 2,100 receiving yards in his career. While the 29-year-old, who turns 30 in December, won't have a long tenure with the club, that will also help keep his price tag down, especially if it means playing for a potential Super Bowl contender. Jones is making $7 million with the Vikings this year after signing a $48 million extension with the Green Bay Packers in 2021. Jones, who has said the Cowboys were his favorite team growing up, torched Dallas in Green Bay's playoff victory at AT&T Stadium in January. He tallied 118 rushing yards and 3 TDs on the ground, as well as 1 catch for 13 yards, in the Packers' 16-point victory. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Aaron Jones? Leave your opinion in the comments.